This is PC Hoops with Coach Kim English Preview. I'm here with Sports Reporter Sam Knox, and we're going to talk about the Seton Hall game this week and what's to come with the big game on Saturday. So starting off with Seton Hall, Sam, a lot of different Friars were in double-digit scoring. You see a lot of people getting involved. Maybe it's because the Bryce Hopkins leave. But what do you think was the key to that win?
Well, Ticket Gaines was fantastic. I mean, he was just on fire from three, led the team in scoring. They need him. They need him to really pick up some of the slack, if you will, that when Bryce Hopkins, with his injury, of course, someone needs to stand up in that way. They don't have to do what Bryce Hopkins was doing, or they don't have to necessarily fill the shoes, but someone that can really step in and be a factor game to game. And to win on the road and against a good team like Seton Hall is convincing, and in the fashion they did it was very convincing as well. Of course, Josh Oduro and Devin Carter were in double figures as well, so definitely a convincing win. And of course, now they're 4-4 in Big East play, so you can go to 5-4 with that game against Georgetown, which is well within reach, of course, of the Friars' victory. Georgetown only winning one game in the conference thus far, and it was against DePaul, who's 0-8. So you're looking at a huge win, one that could possibly, I wouldn't say turn the season around, but something that was certainly a pivot to what they were dealing with before.
Right, and let's expand on that. The first one they had without Bryce was against DePaul. Like we said, DePaul only had 2 wins at that point.
Yep.
But beating Seton Hall, that's a team they lost to when they had lost Bryce Hall that game. So just how big is that?
Huge, because also, like you said, remember that Bryce Hopkins went down in that game. So that right there alone was able to move attention away from the game, and rightfully so. You lose your best player and possibly for the whole year. They didn't know at that time how long Bryce was going to be injured for, although, of course, his reaction would tell the story. But you kind of, I wouldn't say it's an excuse for the loss at home against Seton Hall, but it's certainly something where you could say, hey, look, we lost our best player in this game, and it was at a point where it was a close game, and if we had Bryce for the whole second half, then we could have probably come out and won that game. So it does make you think, oh, maybe they could have beat Seton Hall at home with Bryce. And I mean, it totally just shifted the energy in the building, and that makes this game so much more important because it was almost a must-win for the Friars. The Friars lost to Seton Hall at home last year as well, but they beat them on the road. So it certainly is what you call a must-win, if you will, and it was. So a big win for them, and something that will certainly, if they do make the tournament this year, it's a win that they'll look back and be like, hey, we really needed that one to get in here.
Yeah, for sure. And now looking forward to Georgetown. This game is huge, maybe not just for the game of basketball. Georgetown doesn't have the best record, but in Providence, every Friar fan, I think, is going to be at this game because of course, head coach Ed Cooley. And just taking a look, here's what Devin Carter had to say about Ed Cooley coming back to Providence.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit more emotional for Cooley. Grew up here, coached here for a long time. I mean, I only played for Cooley for a year. I mean, it was a great experience, great coach in my opinion. I love playing for Cooley. But situations happen, and I mean, now the situation's here. So I think it was smooth between me and him. I mean, my dad, he played in the NBA for a long time. I understand trades. I understand business decisions. I understand, doing what's right for your family and everything. So I just looked at it as a business decision for him. And, he took care of me while I was here, so I'm always going to have his back.
So Devin Carter clearly understands the business side of it. I think many Friars had that same outlook. I saw Josh Oduro also said something similar. So Sam, what do you think it's going to be like at the AMP with Ed Cooley coming back?
It's going to be loud. It's going to be emotional. And I think Ed Cooley touched on it after their last game. He knows it's going to be emotional. It's going to be emotional for him. He's from Providence. He went to Central. He coached here for years. And it's important to note this has never happened in Big East history, where a coach leaves a Big East school and goes to coach another Big East team. This is the first time it's ever happened. And I mean, that alone is history, but it's because he's from Providence, and it's because he was so successful here, and he did a great job with this program. Of course, he led them to the Sweet 16 a couple years ago. So a lot of emotions. I hope that fans behave themselves. It's going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of words said to Cooley, probably choice words, but Cooley is expecting that. I don't think, he knows the deal. He understands. He knows what it's going to be like. So I just hope that fans do behave. I hope that no one throws anything or any crazy stuff goes on like that. But
you never know.
You never know, and it's gonna be the fans. It's still fresh. The wound is still fresh. It's gonna be heated. It's gonna be high emotion, and there's a lot of feelings still left over from him leaving, less than a year ago. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say what it's gonna be like without experiencing it. I do hope that it's just a good game, and I hope also that fans are going to say what they want to say and feel how they want to feel, and that's okay as long as it's PG and they're not too crazy about it.
Right, because remember, it's a family event at the AMP. Agreed. Let's hope everyone stays behaved.
Yeah.
Ed Cooley was here for so many years, brought a lot of great things to Providence. So let's hope it's a great game. I think it will be. And Sam, you'll be there.
I'll be there. It's gonna be electric. I know that January 27th has been a date that's been circled on all calendars for Friar fans, and honestly for all college basketball fans, because this is a big deal and a big conference in a city that embraces the Friars in every way. And as we know, Rhode Islanders tell you how they're going to feel and tell you with flying colors how they feel. And especially with a guy and the way it happened with Ed Cooley and how he left and the way it happened, they're going to let him know. They're going to let him know. And he understands that.
Right.
PC is going to have a chip on their shoulder. And to be honest with you, so is Georgetown. They're going to come in here and be like, hey, they're not even paying attention to us. They're paying attention to our coach. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different storylines in this game. And it's going to be
exciting.
It is exciting. It's a day that we've all been looking towards, and now it's finally here. It's going to be a big game, and it's going to be electric.
Right, and you will not want to miss it. The whole sports team will have coverage of that game on PC Hoops with Coach English on Sunday at 10:30 on Fox Providence. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Friar time. You want more hoops action? You got it. Share our top plays, game highlights, and memorable moments.
12 Sports is your all-access pass for Friar Hoops, with in-depth coverage and one-on-one conversations with Coach Kim English.
PC Hoops with Coach Kim English premieres Sunday, January 21st at 10:30 on Fox Providence. Sponsored by Balanced Wealth Management, Bay Coast Bank, Broadway Tire and Auto Service, and Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses.